Ever since Chapter 4, Fortnite have been making a conscious and steadily increasing effort towards the Fortnite Metaverse. Now come on, don't play dumb, you know what this is. If you're in any Fortnite space with an average range above 7 years old, you've almost definitely heard of the Fortnite Metaverse, or at the very least, felt its effects. But if for whatever reason you don't know what the Fortnite Metaverse is, just look at Roblox. Yeah, that. They're trying to do that. Epic Games has been making an attempt at turning Fortnite from just a battle royale into a video game platform like Roblox. They want Fortnite to be your one-stop shop for all your video game experiences, where all your purchases carry over from game to game, and it all persists under one umbrella. Epic Games. And Jesus Christ, if these are the only games they want me to be playing for the rest of my life, then they need to make something that isn't live service, because this is taking the piss. We've been under the regime of the Fortnite Metaverse for around 2 to 3 years now, and I think now is the perfect time to conduct a review of the Fortnite Metaverse and see what worked, what didn't, and whether the Fortnite Metaverse was a success or a failure. Oh, Wendy's reviewing Metaverse modes. You're stealing from him. Yeah, well, he stole my skin review format with my permission, so I don't care. Just shut up. Just play the thing. But first, subscribing to the channel and using code BigCraigd in the Fortnite item shop is proven to reduce poverty rates for 18-year-old Welsh boys living at. So do the right thing and use code BigCraigd, or if you're feeling cheeky, become a channel member for just $2.99 a month to gain access to a bunch of exclusive features like these people on screen. Carry on. Contrary to popular belief, the Metaverse in some form was always an idea up at Epic Games. Don't believe me? That's smart. Don't trust everything a stranger on the internet says. Just take a look at this image posted by Donald Mustard. Believe me now? Look! We've got PvP for BR in the 50v50 game mode, PvE for Save the World, Survival, which is LEGO Odyssey, Music, which is Festival. I don't even know what that says, if we're being completely honest with you. It looks like it says can't, but silly Donald, that isn't a game mode. And we've got Creative over here, and I'll give you a minute to try and find out what this ended up being. Take your time. It's a tricky one, to be fair. My guess is that the initial Metaverse idea came to Fortnite because of the fact that Fortnite made Save the World and Battle Royale in the same game, in a way. They didn't see it as a main game with another game alongside it. No. They saw it as a launcher with 2 main games inside of it. You know, for a while. I'm so sorry you didn't deserve this. Speaking of Save the World, let's talk about the first Metaverse game mode. Fortnite Save the World is a weird, shooty, tower defense, live service, crafting story. We don't know what it is. To this day, it is currently the only premium experience inside of the Fortnite Metaverse. Premium meaning money. Money! Save the World initially had several packs which would give you different perks and items and heroes and all that rubbish, but nobody cared about those, so basically Save the World costed $40. I know, it's crazy. Anyone who bought these packs were called founders and were given some skins and banners and pickaxes they could use in BR. Also, some Save the World stuff, but to be honest with you, I don't care enough to see what they are. And let's be honest, neither do you. Are you going to be interested in this video when I go, oh yes, those that bought the Founders Founder Pack would get up to 6 daily loot llama pinata packs, 1 exclusive Founder llama? No, you wouldn't. As we now know, around Chapter 2, Season 3, Epic would introduce the brand new purchasing system for Save the World, which is the quest pack thingies for like $15. These wouldn't give you any of the Founders rewards, like daily V-Bucks missions, but hey, it gave you the game. Save the World wasn't very popular due to its repetitive gameplay. It was really repetitive. You needed the right mindset to play Save the World for more than 30 minutes and still have a good time. You needed the mindset to grind, and level up, and build, and scam 12-year-olds. Yeah! I ended up getting a Save the World mindset about 3 times during my time with the game, from Chapter 1 Season 7 to now. I didn't like crafting ammo and managing my gun health, so I just constructed a build that would make it so that I could essentially infinitely use my minigun for about 25 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. It was so good. It's on screen right now if you want to steal it, you thieving bastard. I had another push at some point last year to get me through the last quarter of Canny Valley to kill the Storm King, and the Storm King fight was really fun. I haven't touched the game since then, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat. Mary Celeste, you know, any boat enjoyers out there? Maybe if they made it so that you could do like a new game plus, or even just restart the game without having to fucking buy it again on a separate account would be nice. Challenges and speedruns for this game are so hard to come by because of that fact, so it was quite difficult for people to make content around Save the World. I'll probably come back to Save the World to try and complete Frost Night for once, because I can't seem to do it no matter what. I'd also recommend anyone who has Save the World to try the Dungeons game mode and the Ventures, because those are quite fun. All in all, Save the World is a fun but flawed game. Its repetitive gameplay can be difficult to get past, but for those who do, they seem to have a very, very fun time with the game. Save the World has a loyal and dedicated fan base that always keep the game around 10k players spot. What? Save the World is a dedicated and loyal fan base that always keep the game around in the 10,000 players spot. And you know what? Considering that it's an 8-year-old game, barely gets any updates, and is behind a $12 paywall, I'd say that's pretty good. Especially considering what comes later. Save the World is going firmly in the B tier. It's a little difficult to review Battle Royale in the context of the Metaverse, especially considering that it changes completely every 3 months, but I'll bloody do my best. Battle Royale is the reason Fortnite is the fucking Steam trainer that it is today, and it's why Epic Games can do whatever they bloody like and always use BR as a failsafe in case it doesn't go well. 100 players drop down from a bus and must gather supplies through numerous different methods across the game's island to survive against other players and make it to the final circle, where the best players will fight it out for victory. Last one standing wins. Now that's the bare bones explanation for it. There have been some minor changes throughout the years, like fishing, mythic bosses, mean NPCs, nice NPCs, crafting, upgrading, side grading, tents, reality saplings, vaults, keys, key vaults, augments, loot islands, loot caches, medallions, bunkers, rank chest drop pods, but all in all, it's kind of the same, really. When it released, Battle Royale was the talk of the town. It was the most popular trend at the time, and Fortnite's building mechanic made it stand out amongst the rest. And then it became the game's biggest weakness that everyone hated, and now fast forward 8 years and the game without building is the preferred way of playing the game, but we'll get to that later. We don't get to that later. Battle Royale is the best Metaverse mode. The pacing has been improved over the past few years. The skill ceiling with building has been lowered. I said we'll get to that later. BR is going in S tier. Well done, BR. In Season 7, Fortnite added Creative Mode, which was originally a Fortnite level editor, and a few years later turned into UEFN, an actual game engine inside Fortnite that doesn't work half the time. Good job, Tim! I'm not really up to date with Creative anymore. Back in Chapter 2, I was a fiend. I knew how to abuse every device to get me exactly what I wanted, and I think UEFN kind of ruined the creativity behind the limits, but that's just me complaining to complain. UEFN and Creative are both amazing tools, and the slop that comes out of it is down to the creators, so Creative is getting an S tier. Okay, we're not in 2017 anymore, we're in the year of Le Big Cough, and Fortnite just added some random rubbish to the game at this point, like Party Royale. How do you even rate Party Royale? In its prime, Party Royale was great. Frequent concerts, you had some weird things at the cinema, you had the Tenet trailer premiere. Don't tell Fortnite, but I don't think that movie's target demographic was playing Fortnite, to be completely honest with you. We also got to watch an entire movie that one time, that was great. But what is Party Royale now? Drop it. Well, yeah. That's literally all it is. Party Royale is a husk of its former self, and to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure why it's still here, but hey, it's averaging more players than some of the other Metaverse modes, so it's clearly doing something right. At the moment, it's a place for people to flex cosmetics and to be weird little freaks who end up being put on a list. Party Royale gets a D tier. In its prime, it could have mustered a C, but right now it's painful. Now, a lot of people will go, ooh, Imposters isn't a Metaverse mode, it's actually an LTM. I disagree, and this is my video, so what I say goes. I think Imposters was meant to be permanent, and if you want to go see why I think this, go watch this video right here. Not now. What the fuck is wrong with you? We're ranking Metaverse modes right now. Go watch it later. Imposters was like if you took the Among Us game. Yeah, that's all the notes say. It was a soft story mode for Fortnite where you were an undercover agent infiltrating the imagined order and trying to murder everyone in the building. Yay! Happy kids game, everyone! I have no idea what the play counts look like, but I feel like they were great, because Imposters was great. It was removed about 6 months after it was released and hasn't been seen since. There's still an Imposters-shaped hole in my heart. And yeah, I guess there are UEFN maps that have tried to replicate the mode, but it's not the same! In Chapter 5, Fortnite added their first real Metaverse modes in the game. This script is weird. In Chapter 5, Fortnite added their first real Metaverse modes in Fortnite Festival, Rocket Racing, and Lego Fortnite, the big three. Lego Fortnite is a Fortnite survival game in the form of Lego, sometimes. I mean, the people are Lego, and the monsters are Lego. Tree's not Lego, though. Clombo not Lego. But Clombo is also Lego. What is happening? Lego Fortnite is a surprisingly in-depth survival game mode with tons of progression and things to do. And the entire time I play this game, I can't help but think that this would be so much more fun if everything wasn't Lego. Lego Fortnite got a few major updates throughout its first year, like a Star Wars update, which added new weapons and buildings and a story. They added frickin' lightsabers. There was also the Lost Isles, a brand new area to explore, and then it brought back the Clombo. They added an endgame to Lego Fortnite late in the year, which added the Storm biome and the Storm King. Well, this is cool. And in its second year, they added... Now, Lego Fortnite sounds great, doesn't it? Well, it is. for the first hour. For me at least, the mode gets very repetitive and grindy after a while, where it just feels like you're cutting down trees for multiple hours to get wood. You need to build one door frame or something. It's very grindy. I don't like it. I don't want to cut any more trees. Leave me alone. It feels like artificial grind to me, that it was put in place just to keep the player in the game for longer, because as we all know, the higher the retention of the game mode, the more money the creator gets. Because of this, LEGO Fortnite always left a bitter taste in my mouth whenever I tried to play through it, and I always ended up dropping it after a few hours. But that's just me. To all the troopers who push through the grind, it looks like a super fun mode, which is why I keep trying to get back into the game, but oh, the trees! There's so much to do once you get the hang of it, and it's probably one of the best Metaverse modes in the game. There, I said it. And despite the player base being ignored and forgotten and treated like literal poo stains this year by the developers, LEGO Fortnite has managed to retain a decent chunk of its player base and places itself in the upper echelon of Fortnite Metaverse game modes when it comes to player counts. Oh, yeah, you could also buy buildings and decorations pieces in the item shop, and nobody did it because they were expensive and a little pointless. So that's probably why they aren't making content for this mode anymore. LEGO Fortnite gets an A tier. You did good, kid. Rocket Racing. Likely the biggest joke in the Fortnite Metaverse conversation. Rocket Racing is a weird collab between Fortnite and Rocket League, where they take the way the cars in Rocket League behave and slap it into a racing game in Fortnite, except not really, because the physics and the way the cars handle is completely different. In Rocket League, there's weight to the cars. In Fortnite, they are pieces of paper only being weighed down by the track. I'm surprised these things aren't shooting out into orbit with how easy they are to fling around the map. Rocket Racing is a racing game mode in Fortnite, with its main gimmick being that you can jump on the walls and the ceiling, and that's kind of it. While Rocket Racing can be fun in short bursts, it struggles with retention because the game mode gets very, very repetitive very quickly. A lot of people suggested they do a Mario Kart and have items across the track to make it at least somewhat more varied, but no. They don't want to do that. They added a speedrun game mode to the game, which I think is meant to be like a time trial mode, which is fun because the speedrun community for this game mode is actually quite active and likely the only consistent player base Rocket Racing gets. But Rocket Racing stopped getting updates after their third season launched in the summer of 2024, and now it's just sitting there. Waiting. Waiting for what? I don't fucking know. Pack it up. It's over. Fortnite, I guess, banged on Rocket Racing being a success because they made cars a cosmetic type for people to buy, and oh my god, they were so expensive when they first released. I swear. It was like 5,000 V-Bucks for a single car. I'm not joking. They've halved the price since then, but 2,000 V-Bucks is still way too much for a car to use in a game mode that nobody plays. People who buy cars are much more likely to use them in BR because you can also use custom cars there, which is quite cool, actually. Personally, I kind of enjoy Rocket Racing in short bursts. If I have nothing to do, I'll probably jump in for a race or two just to feel something in my miserable existence, but other than that, nah. Rocket Racing is going to be slapped into C tier. The final Metaverse game mode to release within the first wave, and it was in my opinion the best one. Fortnite Festival is a rhythm music game similar to Guitar Hero and Rock Band, except this time it's Fortnite. Wow, who'd have guessed? There was a limited supply of free weekly songs for you to mess around with, and there were also songs in the item shop that you could buy called Jam Tracks. Now, a lot of people thought that Jam Tracks were overpriced, but luckily Fortnite added a bunch of features to them that made the 500 V-Bucks price tag worth it, like lobby music, Victory Royale and Skydive themes, instrument emotes, and the LEGO Fortnite jukebox that doesn't let you choose a song. You know, all great additions. Fortnite Festival was fun, had an easy way to make updates, managed to retain a consistent player base. It was looking like this mode was going to be great. And then Epic Games just kept making more and more and more and more stupid decisions. You know, like making the Jam Track selection incredibly small and FOMO based. I'm not going to talk about it again, but man, it was such a good idea. I'm so happy they did that. Fortnite Festival gets a B tier. It would have gotten A tier, but it's just not it right now. Oh yeah, there was also Jam Stage, which is basically just Party Royale, except with a focus on Jam Tracks this time, except Party Royale still has more players, so I don't really know what to say about that. Halfway through 2024, Fortnite added more Metaverse modes. Let's take a look. Battle Stage was an extension of Fortnite Festival where players will compete against each other to get the best score in a song. The only problem is that you could only choose songs that were in the random free rotation unless you were in private lobbies, which meant that the funness of this mode was entirely dependent on whether the rotation that week was good. Oh, and by the way, there was no easy way to check the free rotation or when the rotation was changing outside of social media points and clairvoyancy, so why don't we... You want to spin the wheel, spin the wheel, spin the wheel. So during the Metallica season, yeah, this mode was fun. The only way to stay ahead was by choosing a complicated instrument like a guitar or drums, and these songs got intense. It was super fun. It was really about skill and quick finger skills. And now, yeah, it sucks. I hate it. It's so boring in its current state. There should be an escalation feature of some kind to make the songs more intense and difficult as the songs go forward. You know how anticlimactic it was to have the final song be some slow Sabrina Carpenter song and the only way to win was through vocals? It was so lame. I hate vocals in Battle Stage. Oh my god. On its worst days, it's a C tier. On its best days, it's a B tier. Just slap it in C. Fortnite Reload was also released during this period. Reload was apparently made to keep player numbers high when Battle Royale was losing steam because of Chapter 5 Season 3. The game mode focuses on a smaller pool of players on a smaller map with a smaller loot pool, which was reminiscent of the chapters that came before, with the main mechanic being that you can respawn. If you're in a squad or a duo, as long as one of your teammates are alive, you can infinitely respawn until the timer reaches 0. You know, you've played the game. In solo, you have up to 3 lives, get on with it. Reload was an instant success, competing with BR for the same player count for the first month, and now it's almost always sitting at around 100k players. Most of them are in ranked, mind you. Reload came at a time where Fortnite didn't really feel like itself. It provided us with familiarity that we enjoy and new-ish gameplay loop that was actually enjoyable some of the time. Kinda funny how a mode which Epic apparently made in a month managed to outpace every other Metaverse mode by a landslide. It's almost like embracing the fucking themes of your game is a good idea. Epic later added 3 new maps to Reload on top of Venture, which was the original one. There was Oasis, my personal favorite, a mix of Paradise Palms, smaller sand biome POIs, Lazy Links, and Shifty Shafts. There was also Slurp Rush, a Chapter 2 inspired map with Slurpy Swamp, Dirty Docks, Steamy Stacks, and other famous Chapter 2 locations, and Squid Game. What? Yeah, for some reason they added Squid Game to Reload, and I don't know about everyone else, but I hate it. It kind of just ruins Reload for me. Like, I thought Reload was supposed to be a celebration of Fortnite's past in a brand new way. Why are we... What? Why is Squid Game here? The Squid Game map was also too big and replaced Oasis, which sucked. Why did they do that? That kind of took the wind out of the metaphorical sails of Reload for me. And then part the metaphorical Reload boat on a metaphorical beach of mid, and then metaphorical cannibals ate the metaphorical people on the metaphorical boat. Does this make sense? Reload can still be fun though. Just get rid of Squid Rounds. I'm giving Reload an A tier. It's good fun, but the Squid Game map really does bring it down. Chapter 6 is here, and Fortnite are back with more bullshit. Whoopee! But what's this? They actually look fun this time? Oh my, how could this be? Brick Life? A mode that's being marketed as a GTA style mode instead of Lego? Oh my god, the Lego's kind of mid, but oh my god, this mode looks like it'd be really cool. I wonder what do we do? It's hard to rate Brick Life because I don't know what the fuck to do. It's an official mode, but it feels like a weird UGC map or like a Roblox roleplay game, but which, hey, maybe that's what they were going for. We're gonna put this in C tier. Fortnite Ballistic. Fortnite's take on Search and Destroy. What does it do differently? Not much. It feels like the brief for this mode was...
You see CSGO? Yeah, make that.
But Tim, the target audience, it doesn't match up at all.
Does it look like I give a hoot about their target demographic? Make the bloody thing.
And you might be saying, oh, what about the flex gadgets? And yeah, those are unique to Ballistic, and they have started to embrace that recently to be their unique defining factor. But when the mode first released, it felt like someone had snuck them in, hoping that Tim wouldn't find them. I like Ballistic. I think it's fun. Especially when you get a team who aren't 3 years old. Playing with randoms in this game can either be the best experience of your life, you feel like you're getting lifted up by little angels, or it can be the worst experience of your life and leaves you feeling like unclogging the sink in your bathroom may be a better use of your time. Ballistic's main issue is content. There is none. Sure, they've done work to add new guns and new flex gadgets, and those are fine. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything when the maps you use those weapons and gadgets on don't flipping exist. Skyline 10 was the only finished map in the game for around 9 months, nearing 10 before Hammerfall was finally added into rotation. That is absurd. Sure, we have the work in progress dev maps, which are great, but I feel like we should have more finished maps in rotation than work in progress ones at this point. Is this just me? The environments on the unfinished maps are obviously very dull and boring because they are blockout maps, and it is very difficult for someone like me to get invested in the map when it's all just great. The Skyline 10 and Hammerfall, they're great. The content Ballistic has added is brilliant, but it just needs more of it. Ballistic, I'm going to throw you in a generous B tier. You better up your game, but otherwise next time I do this you might get demoted. Fortnite OG, the weirdest Metaverse mode. Advertised as a faithful recreation of Chapter 1, Fortnite OG was supposed to give us the feeling of old Fortnite because current Fortnite is so different. The problem with that is that Reload already exists already. And they started in Season 1. And it was really buggy. And it wasn't faithful. Then what was the point?
point.
With time, Fortnite OG got better and better, in my opinion, and actually became good in Season 4, where the map got filled out and actually had a decent loot pool. OG really peaked with Expert Mode. It was so fun to play. Expert Mode was a no bots and no skill-based matchmaking game mode, which meant you could end up playing against Noobington over here, or literal Jesus Christ himself. Now watch, because I mentioned Jesus Christ, there's going to be some guy called like Joseph 12 in the comments reciting the Bible. It happens every time, every damn time. The only problem is that Fortnite removed Expert Mode, which means that we have to put up with the modern matchmaking rules, which suck for this mode. Everyone will tell you that the modern matchmaking rules only give you bots and no real players. Yeah, I have the opposite problem. Every single fight is the sweatiest, most difficult fight in your life, but if you win, you'll come out feeling like a champ, and then you'll realize that you're only in the top 80 and you'll have to fight 6 more people exactly like that. It's miserable. The current matchmaking rules don't work for OG because the time to kill is longer, because the weapons are less overpowered, which means that every fight will take longer, which means that they won't let you get caught up in the storm, which means it stinks. It stinks so bad. Oh god. Please, Epic, bring back Expert Mode, I beg. This mode is insufferable without it. Everyone's equal to me, and it's horrible. Give me players who are worse. Give me players who are better. Skill-based matchmaking doesn't work with OG. Give me Expert Mode, and OG will get an A ranking. Until then, you get a B. Fuck you. There are 3 more game modes, 2 that released this year, and 1 that released like 3 years ago, and I just refused to talk about it. I don't like this one. The storyline game mode, that's what this seemed to be. The long-awaited Fortnite storyline game mode that would tell the Fortnite story through a different medium and make it more available and abundant to people who are looking for it. And that's not what this is. First of all, it's in Lego, which ruins the canonicity of this mode because the game mode takes place in these locations that seem similar to locations on the BR Island, except they aren't and they take place in some other place. Then the story refuses to have parity with itself because in one game mode you had Hope talking about murdering Daigo in cold blood, and in the other you have they're still good in him. No! And then the problem gets worse because we've been in Season 4 for almost 2 months now, and Expeditions is still in Season 3 fighting Daigo and Core. So is this a story game mode or not? Is this canon or not? I'm getting mixed signals here. And that's not even talking about the gameplay, which is fun, but like the other Lego game mode, is incredibly grindy, and it's very repetitive with not much to do outside of the same 4 or 5 missions over and over again. Which, speaking of, this game mode being a live service and based on keeping retention high is absolutely ludicrous, because why on earth would you make this a live service when the gameplay is this repetitive and you only had 1 new mission after the mode's release 3 months ago? It baffles me. And you know, it was some random guy at Epic Games sat on a pile of money that made a lot of these game modes retention based when there was no need to. Not everything needs to retain 500,000 players. You know, players can just play the game and then not play it again for a while, you know, like we used to, or like we still do with single player games. Ooh, people aren't playing Doom the Dark Ages anymore. It has a low player count. Is it a flop? No, it isn't. They bought the game. They finished the game. Finito. There's nothing left. Not everything has to compete for your attention all the flipping time, and this is this combined with the lack of parity, the lack of story focus, and the repetitive gameplay, which has resulted in the game mode averaging a couple hundred players instead of the tens of thousands I'm sure Epic really wanted, and I'm sure that the higher up at Epic Games think that there's nobody interested in the story now, and that's why this mode flopped, and they probably won't do anything interesting with the story ever again, and when in actuality, people just aren't playing a game mode that doesn't look like the story, is repetitive and grindy with no real reward, and insists on being a live service despite having no content. C tier. I've done an entire long form on Blitz. If you want my full thoughts, you can check that out when you're done with this one. Don't worry, we're almost done. Blitz Royale is the natural progression from BR to Reload to Reload to Blitz. It's Fortnite in 5 minutes. It sounds like it would be lame, but it isn't. It's really fun. Again, I won't repeat myself too much, but the constant updates keep this mode fresh, and since it's only 5 minutes long, it doesn't waste your time. I like it, it's fun, it knows what it's trying to be, and does it well. Don't put collabs in Reload, put them in here. Thank you, S tier. Legends Landing is an old creative map created by Epic Games for players to watch the FNCS through. You know, pretty cool. The Fortnite Metaverse is in its 2nd main year of operations at the moment, and so far it doesn't seem to be sticking. Out of all the modes they've released, they either have lower player counts than expected, or Epic refused to update them properly, which left them to die, sometimes both. The only modes that seem to be actually doing well are the combat ones, like BR, Reload, and Blitz. And it makes sense. Nobody is going to come to Fortnite for a Metaverse experience. Fortnite is not an every game. Fortnite is Fortnite, and until Epic Games get that thin client working properly, it's not going to change. For God's sake, Fortnite is 16 gigabytes on mobile right now. Take a guess at what Roblox is. 500 megabytes or so. That is insane. Fortnite needs to make a choice. They either need to fully accept the Metaverse idea and give it their backing and moderation it really needs, or they should close up shop and focus on the combat modes. It's as simple as that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. We might end up doing a video like this again again next year with the new Metaverse modes, especially with that big Disney mode they're working on, which I'm sure won't just be an empty husk of a mode. If you enjoyed today's video, then consider subscribing and using code BigCraigd in the Fortnite item shop. Plus, if you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see a funny card on the screen which will take you to a video like this one, but better. Okay, bye.